Welcome back to my channel. This is Bananas for Bikes. Today, I'm going to do an 8,500 mile review on my Bafang BBSHD. So, real quick, this is 2015 Fuji Absolute 1.3 hybrid bike. It has flat bars, 700 by 35C tires, quick release skewers, and just makes a great bike overall to convert to an e-bike. I do have some other videos out there if you're interested in checking out the install on it, or you want some more information on what my reviews and my opinions are. I have some other videos on this channel, Bananas for Bikes, as well as my other channel, Sean the RD, where I go over like 1,000-mile review and some other periodic reviews. But let's just jump in. This is the 8,500 mile review. This thing is awesome. I love it. I wish I bought it sooner. I regret not buying it sooner. This thing's a game changer. I can get to and from work a little bit quicker, but most importantly, I would say the best thing about having an e-bike is that it regulates your temperature. So I commute, I wear dress, business casual at work, and so I don't have to change when I get to work. I don't have to shower. I don't have to get sweaty. When it's hot out in the summer, it's all good. My dog's right here, so I'm petting him. Bennett, you want to say hi, buddy? You want to say hi? You want to say hi, buddy? Um, so it's just a game changer. Really, it's comfortable. You can ride around, run errands. You don't feel like you're spending all day on the bike. You get to where you need to go quicker. It's just awesome. I just can't say enough good things about e-bikes. And I was kind of skeptical at first. I thought it was kind of cheating, but it's just great. So still love it. It's just been fantastic. Some problems that I've had. So the last review I did was either a 6 or a 7,000 mile review, and since then a few things have come up. So the first one was I needed a new battery. Right around 7,000 miles, I was only getting about 15 miles of charge. So it would shut off a few miles from the house, and then I'd have to turn the battery off and turn it back on. And then other times, like I would be maybe 12, 13 miles into a ride and the battery would get really low. So at that point, I went ahead and just got a new battery, a same 52 volt. This is a 13 amp hour battery. I'll put a link in the description below where I just got it on Amazon. It came with a new charger that doesn't have a fan. The last charger had a fan, and if you remember from the videos, I dropped it and the fan kind of made a weird noise, but this new one doesn't have a fan, which is really nice. And it's cool that they sent the battery with a new charger and a new battery mount. We'll talk about that later. So I needed a new battery. I estimate I got 3.5 years worth on it and around 600 charges, maybe 650 charges, maybe 700 charges total. So a little bit less than what I wanted, but not bad overall. The new battery cost, I think, just around $300. So pretty reasonable for 7,000 miles. I would have spent so much more just on gas. I did need a new wiring harness. I got a error code 30 on the main screen, and I couldn't figure out what it was for a while. I thought maybe I had to like relube the motor. Maybe the motor was being weird. Maybe there was an electrical issue with the motor. I thought maybe a wire got pulled out of the motor because I take this thing off-roading. I'm nuts with this thing. Me and the dog, we just rip it through like fields and dirt tracks and stuff. So I'm pretty hard on this. Turns out it was just the main wiring harness. This main wiring harness attaches all the wires from the motor and the battery, and it goes up to the controller. So I'll put a link in the description as well on that. That was only about $15, so not a big deal. Fix that problem right away. Another issue is I got in a crash. And I would say that's one of the downfalls, one of the only downfalls about having an e-bike and going fast, 25, 30, 35 miles an hour, is when cars see you, they don't anticipate that you're going that fast. And so they're more likely to turn right in front of you, or they're pulling out, whatever they may do. They don't understand that you're going faster than most cyclists. In this case, some guy was doing like a quick leapfrog straight across. And even if I was on a regular bike, he or she should have not been going when I was there. I was right there. I mean, I was a foot from their car. I thought I was going to just T-bone them. So I pulled the brakes, and unfortunately, I didn't have my panniers on the back. I had a book bag, so the bike wasn't loaded with the weight in the rear. The weight was more higher up, and so I just flipped over the handlebars. Boom, like 25, 27 miles an hour. Flipped over the handlebars, landed in the road. Some cyclists behind me had to stop traffic, and turned out the battery went flying, so the battery mount broke, but it was already kind of cracked at that point, and I bent one of the crank arms. Other than that, just a little damage on the bar end, nothing else. Motor was fine. So I did have to go and buy some new crank arms. I think they were like $20, not that bad. So I just replaced the one crank arm, and the new battery that I had already installed came with a new battery mount. So I was able to just slap that on there. And if you remember in the other video, I got those nut certs where you drill into the frame and you put new rivets. So I have 4 rivets here to affix this battery mount. Most bikes only have 2, sometimes 3 screws here on the down tube to affix the battery mount, but I only have 2. You could also go with, hypothetically, a Wolf Tooth B-Rad 3, which you can affix it and attach 4 screws to this, but that might be unnecessary. But anyway, you could check that out, the Wolf Tooth B-Rad. It gives you some extra mounts so that the mounting bracket for the battery can now affix in more than 2 places. I did really quickly want to go over some tools here. So one of the things I did, if you've seen my other video, this was my bottom bracket tool. I don't recommend these are great for regular bikes. These don't work for Bafang bikes because of the drive shaft. You need something that's open. So this here is Bike Hand YC304BB. And what I love this thing. Highly recommend it. It's got the Holotech 2 on this side, the FSA Mega Evo, and it's got the BB9000 and a BBR60. So as you can see, it's got 4 different sides depending on the kind of bottom bracket that you have. And for me, I actually have the Holotech 2. This is a Holotech 2, I believe, is the size that the Bafang uses. I have another bike with a Holotech 2 and another bike that uses the FSA Mega Evo. What I love about this is the drive shaft fits in there, so you can get good leverage. This mount has not moved. So I'll show you real quick. The tool that it comes with is this thing. This part, this ring here, you use for the inner mount, and this one you use for the outer lock ring, and this one just wiggles. I'll show you guys up close here. As you can see here in the bottom bracket, this thing is really wiggly. See the play on that? What you'll end up doing is you end up stripping this outer lock ring. This doesn't work because when the crank arm comes out, you still have a drive shaft here. So this ends up stopping prematurely, and you can't tighten this outer lock ring down or the inner lock ring. This four-way thing, that's for the inner lock ring. This is for the outer lock ring. With this, because you have a hole here, this just fits with the drive shaft, just goes right in the middle, and you can tighten it down. And what I love about this over the other products, look how long that thing is. That thing's as big as my forearm. So you get really, really good leverage. And what you'll notice is this motor doesn't wiggle. One of the problems I had in the past is the motor would wiggle. It would start to get loose over time, but I don't have that problem anymore. So this you need for the inner lock ring. This you need for the outer lock ring, but you can also use it on all your other bottom bracket needs, which is really cool. So, hey guys, I just want to add one more thing. One of the things I did do since the last review was I took the motor apart and I re-greased the internal gears. So I cleaned it all out, replaced the grease, and I replaced the gaskets. Now, one of the things I just want to point out is do not open up the non-drive side. The left side of your bike, that is not the one to open up. I just opened that up. I think I was being lazy. I was like, oh, it's still attached to the bike. Let me open it up. That's got some of the electrical components, waterproofed. It has its own gasket. It's on the drive side. You have to take the chain ring off, and you can get to the gears that way. It's not a complicated process. There's not a lot of internal parts that you have to deal with, so it's not like you're going to open it up and have this puzzle of what to do. It's pretty straightforward, but what I found was when I opened it up was I had to replace all of the gaskets. All the gaskets that hold the sort of outer pieces of the motor to the inner pieces of the motor had to get replaced. Some of the paper gaskets ripped. The only gasket I was able to save was a rubber gasket. There is 3 gaskets total. The rubber gasket I saved, 2 of the paper ones I had to order. I cleaned out the grease as best I could. I didn't notice any particular wear and tear, chunks of metal, anything weird like that. The grease it was like a metallic gunmetal gray color, so it looked like it needed to get replaced, but it wasn't like dark and gunky or anything. So my 2 cents is don't do it. Like, it's not worth it. It's work to take the motor out, to buy the gaskets, to wait for them to come, to open it up. Hopefully, if you're at all talented in motors, you can put it back together. I didn't see a difference in performance. I don't think it's going to add life to the motor. The grease that was in there seemed okay. It's a very well-contained system, so it's not like there's any dirt or anything in there. So for me, if that grease goes bad and the motor burns out at 10 or 15,000 miles, I'll just get a new motor. It's like $500 or $800, $600 for a new BBSHD motor. I'll just get a new motor. It's not worth the trouble, to re-grease it. The manufacturer recommends doing it every 1,000 kilometers. I'm not doing it that frequently. I will never do it again. It wasn't terrible. I'd rather just spend the money and get a new motor. I don't think it's worth it. So just my 2 cents. Now that I've gone over everything, let's jump to the highest speed run. Today we got up to just shy of 55 miles an hour on this with a 48 tooth front chain ring and 11 cassette in the rear. Check it out. problem. Don't gotta get gas. But look, I get to cruise through here. 35, baby. Woo! Cruising. The nice thing is, if you just want to put it into 3, you can still cruise around. 25 miles an hour, no problem. Yeah, nice 25 to 28 miles an hour in pedal assist 3. So it conserves the battery, but still gets you at a good speed. And I'm not breaking a sweat either. I got a hat on.